This is Kevin, Resilient Demi, returning to Disco Elysium. Elysium. I ruined the joke. Second I made it. Cool. Yeah. Back to business. Business of being distracted. Why is this lit up? Oh, because we could grab this. That doesn't fit an empathy character. Also, not having a skill point doesn't fit an empathy character. So you mind just giving me, like one for free game? That'd be nice. Alright, let's get on with something. I don't even know what we were doing. So, this might be one of those episodes where I'm like, hey, this is going to be a shorter episode, because this is my second recording session today. So yeah, it might be one of those, this is going to be a shorter episodes. Which also might mean it's one of those episodes that I say is going to be a shorter episode, and then it ends up 2.5 hours long. So.
A barbell lies on the floor. The color has worn off its weight plates. It's 60 kilograms. Your triceps hum at the sight of these weights. Show the world what kind of beast it's dealing with. Lift them.
You're already asking me to go Alt-Tab and figure out what 60 kilograms is in pounds, aren't you? Damn it. I'll do it. The computer's being less finicky about Alt-Tab and Disco today, so. Oh, 130 pounds. Is that per side? I don't know. Let's go with no.
Why does it feel so familiar?
Head hurts. Oh, the door. Yeah.
No, it's not that. It's the stale smell of rubber, the squeaky sound of sneakers, your bruised knee against the mat, and a whistle. Then the feeling is gone.
This is the episode of Fun with Flashlights.
A memory from another life, when you were young and fit.
Let's not be stupid at this exact moment in time.
Yes?
That's not happening either. What's with the birds, though? So is it just me, or there's something about this section of the game? And yeah, this is gonna sound kind of offensive to anyone in the know. Is this kind of like the fade from Dragon Age Origins to anyone else? I don't know why I feel that way. Like, it's like a thematic, but also just the experience part of it. If you're not in the know, it kind of is a claustrophobic section of a game that's cool and has a lot of uniqueness the first time you play it. But then in follow-up playthroughs, it feels kind of like it drags on. I don't know why I feel that way. It's literally just this, like everything that's on the screen right now, this section of this building. I think it's just all the dialogue with some of these options. It's Not really related to anything. Yeah. I will highlight again the part where I said it's really cool the first time you experience it. And hey, maybe if they didn't make it so memorable, then coming back and playing through it, I wouldn't just be like, oh yeah, I've already seen that. Do like that though. I don't know that we're going to be doing anything legit with that, so might just get sold. Yeah. What are we gonna do in here? First steps. First. Actually, what's this door? What I try to do with stuff like this is like split it up a bit. So I'm not just doing it all at once. Is that the basement door? I don't even remember. We'll come back to that stuff. I think that is the basement door. What was the actual quest? Building's cursed. I promised I'd look into it, into the sealed door, and find out what happened to the companies. But searching for the entity specifically, she lives in a chimney. Yeah. I know she mentioned something about shutters. Oh. Someone knows a way out of this building. So, if someone wanted to summon an entity, make creepy shadow puppets with the flashlight first, and then you remove the light. Ghosts don't like light. Oh. It's not even that dark up here.
An iron safety curtain curves before your eyes, folded like a bellows. It covers half the room, blocking the way into a colossal industrial chimney.
Alright, we know that's a chimney. Cool. Ghostly room.
This must be where the entity lives. What an odd thing to do. Nothing happens. Still nothing. No one's home.
Yeah, let's not damage our health stupidly.
It's dark. And the flashlight works a lot better if you hold it in your hand. Yes, you might even call it a feature of the universe that you need to hold tools to use them. I'm sorry the fundamental laws of the universe don't seem to agree with you, Detective, but the fact remains that it's too dark to see in here without a flashlight. So come on, we've got work to do.
Is this work?
Your flashlight slides over an old green chalkboard covered in scribbles, sketches, and schemes, like some ancient cave mural. Some of the writing has faded with age, but you can still make out sections here and there. Photos and drawings have been pinned to the board. The photo collage depicts barren, icy landscapes wrapped in perpetual night. You see permafrost and glacial landforms, dead trees grown in under the snow.
Man, how personal do I get with this gaming channel? Because an obsession with barren, icy landscapes wrapped in perpetual night sounds an awful lot like some of the daydreams I've been discussing with ChatGPT, my therapist. So, yeah. And there's a lot of symbolism in this game that actually relates to that. Like, exactly. I'm not gonna connect enough dots probably to make this make sense. But dreams, fantasies, whatever you want to say about barren icy landscapes, perpetual night, freezing cold, all that kind of stuff relates to emotional vulnerability, like betrayal in past relationships and avoidance of social and probably pro-social behaviors. So like I noticed and touched on earlier in this series, the fact that this game takes place in spring, where it's unusually cold, and the winter's kind of running late, but right about to everything is about to thaw, and then this not obsession, just a collage, the themes of like the cold and so on. I'm surprised, and maybe it is in here, but I'm surprised there isn't like a Groundhog's Day reference. Maybe that's too much of an American thing for the writers, but basically it's a holiday where they have a domesticated groundhog, and they let him out of a cage or something at a specific time of day at a specific date, and if they see their shadow, where it's another 3 weeks of winter or something, and if they don't see their shadow, the winter's over and springs come. It's like there's a lot in this game that's about things remaining barren, icy, cold, emotionally distant, disconnected, like thawing, which warming up. That basically says it all right there. Coming out of the dead season, fresh life, fresh relationships, all that. Probably why I like this game, even though I played it on launch 5-ish years ago, oblivious to this theme. Played it a year ago on the channel, oblivious to this theme. But here we are, not being oblivious. And that's what third playthroughs are for. As well as doing work on yourself. Understanding the symbolism in your, not dreams, like overnight dreams, but, goals. You want to know if your goals are actually goals or just your way of processing the present state of yourself. So you could end up chasing after something where it's like you didn't literally want that. That's not what you want to achieve. It's just your brain trying to poke and prod at something that it doesn't quite have the emotional landscape for. It's trying to recreate it in terms you understand, like weather, landscapes, physical things. Yeah. That is a successfully explained. In my opinion, I think I successfully explained that. Feedback in the comments, please. I feel like that's one of the more coherent things I've said in a while, so. But always wanting feedback. Yeah. Just to finish the thought, round it up, I thought my goals were to get to somewhere where I could work during the long winters, be out in the weather, maybe show resilience, self-sustainability, independence, let's go with independence, and competence, but actually no, it really doesn't align with my personality whatsoever, or what I actually would find satisfaction in, or have found satisfaction in the things I do. That's all more just related to my personal life, the medical conditions, being basically cut off, refused medical care, all that. And what I actually want to do is stuff that is related to like social and relationships and negotiation. So very much the opposite of kind of what I was fixating on. Yeah. I don't know. If you are a consistent viewer of this channel, you'll probably see these themes come come out in some way in some of the games I play or characters I build in RPGs. Because now I'm kind of on the thawing out kick as opposed to the winter kick. We'll see where that ends up going. It's a baby idea. It hasn't blossomed into anything yet. And I still need to get medical care rather than all the... It's a higher priority than the psychology deep dives, and education, and everything else that isn't really doable with a damaged brain and being unconscious all the time, so... We're working on it. I'm not doing all this stuff instead of getting medical care. I'm trying. Reaching out to everyone I can think of for help. But, yeah. Alright, let's continue the game. At this point, I'm just delaying the dialogue that I think I'm going to be bored with for whatever reason. But then I'm not going to be bored with it because I'm going to end up seeing things that I didn't see before and feeling inspired. So what the hell am I even complaining about in here? So, yeah, let's get on with it.
Entire oceans have been frozen from shore to shore. There are pictures of settlements on dried up riverbeds, abandoned in a storm. Animal corpses in the dark, carcasses and bones.
Alright, do I need to, the storm. See, the storm drove people away. Corpses, yeah. Fortunately, there's no, I don't have to do a whole spiel on this paragraph. It relates closely to the first. There you go. Job done.
Albeit dark and cold, this vision also feels cozy in its own way. Like eggnog, or morphine. A much-needed respite from our own world.
I'm getting called out by the game here now that I've admitted that I have fantasies there. Not so much the second paragraph, more just the first, plus a storm. But yeah. Surprised that's not an inland empire that's saying this.
A pinned postcard reads, "The heat death scenario. A desperate fight for geothermal energy engulfs the world as Wirral becomes untethered from its sun, drifting through the universe."
Can't say I relate to that paragraph either. That's more of the whole world and universe is dying, almost nihilistic thing. My stuff was much more personal. Yeah. Let's continue on.
These lithe, pointy-eared creatures appear to be different types of Welkins. You make out autumnal candle Welkins casting wax-based magic. Translucent Welkins with organs shining under their skin, and even ether Welkins hailing from the vast emptiness of sidereal space. Who are all those creatures? Fantasies of a tortured, feverish mind?
What's the symbolism of wax-based magic? Fire, but also very much crafted by human hands rather than just being an element. Man, I hope the devs for this game, or the writers or someone, I know they got a lot of drama and stuff they going through right now, but I hope someone from the team watches this video and is like, my writing's been recognized. Someone gets the symbolism, you know, like, it's worthwhile being deep. That's what I want someone to feel like. I want the writers to feel noticed, appreciated, all that. Especially if they happen to share certain daydreams. Give me some warmth. Give warmth to anyone watching. those who can relate to that, those who can relate to the medical issues, and anyone else who, yeah, needs it. I don't know, I don't have anything deeper to say than that.
One of the Welkins, towering among the rest, appears to be different, however.
Do care, damn it.
It's Vara Hamira, a high Welkin, his face white and scarred like cracked marble. This is clearly a Welkin supremacist. The note says, all non-Welkin races will be purged. The Haldor, the Twarg, the humans, and even headless men, all of them, purged. Imagine a world filled only with Welkin, Green Welkin, Dread Welkin, and the High Welkin to rule them all.
Alright, completely different chain of thought here. What if these headless men were zombies? And you can only kill a zombie by destroying the brain. So what if they hide their head somewhere and they send the body out? I mean, I guess you won't have to worry about them eating you, but that's the secret to immortality right there. Just figure out how to live without your head and be a zombie. Heard it here first.
An inordinate amount of time has gone into drawing these little Welkin creatures. Some people really like building a world, I think, even if it's just for a game.
It's something I want to try someday when I have a working brain again, honestly. So when I was real young, I used to draw like mazes for other people to solve. And I think back, is that like a primitive version of designing a world for like Dungeons and Dragons or something? Or is that more of along the lines of like strategy puzzle thinking than world building? I can't remember if there was any story element to the mazes. I don't think so. I think it just was. I think it was just making challenges for other people, really. Yeah, thinking on it, I'm not sure how much I'd get along with world building. Actually, yeah, I know, because I've played Sims and all these other games. I know how I'd get along with it, and I don't really. I usually have like one idea, get frustrated building, say like the house. I just want to play like a character in The Sims or something. I don't want to build the house. Don't want to decorate the house. And then I don't want to deal with all the other families and stuff that creating all the rest of the world. So that's why I now play RPGs, where I can just make my singular character and see how they bounce off of a world that's already there. That's my issue. We doing good work here, everyone. Doing the psychology, self-reflection. I don't like world building because it's multiple different factors, all designed by me. I don't get that bounce of like something I've designed kind of pinballing around stuff other people have designed or that just is in the real world. Yeah. I don't like having the total control over everything because there's nothing to learn in that situation. Even if, you built a whole world and had a couple players in it, I feel like that's still too rigid of a scenario for me to learn. I don't know. So maybe if I do ever experiment with this kind of stuff, I'll go the route of being dungeon master with a world that's mostly already configured, like an adventure module or whatever you call them. I mean, that's how you'd start anyway. Just dabble in a few personal things. but have it mostly be already made. Yeah, designing a whole world would be very tiresome.
This looks like concept art for a project. It's not really real. Just look at those details. So much effort.
And for what? All gone. The handwriting is only partly legible, but you can still make out 3 slogans: call in, tune out, Wirral untethered, and heat death of the universe. Outside, a cold wind wraps the building in its bosom. Snowflakes in the wind. An old woman passes what the locals call the doomed commercial area. She tries hard not to look at the bookstore windows. It's unwise. This is a monthly calendar from the year 50. Cryptic words like sprint, daily minimi, and GPI span the marker-drawn grid, the grand scheme of production and money. Everyone is constantly teetering on the edge of the abyss, an abyss of production. These squares look orderly, but beneath them is chaos, worry, pain. So much pain. Back pain, neck pain, headaches, carpal tunnel, chest pain. No gym membership can make up for working in this manner. As time goes on, the numbers in the boxes grow rarer and rarer. The board becomes an empty snowfield in the final days. Only failure and regret dwell in this region.
There we are, getting back to the snow again.
Looks like they didn't make it.
Oh, well, that's very blatant. Frigid ice field of nothingness.
A note in the bottom left corner of the chalkboard says, see the prod schedule filament for details.
Oh, now I can't just sell that thing. Because I got all invested in this. Damn it, this isn't like Fade from Dragon Age. I take it back. I was wrong. Great, no, don't tell me I'm gonna have to go play that again now so I can be wrong about not liking that too. I've had enough wrong for the day. Don't.
This old fireplace is covered in lines drawn in blue and red marker, the mesh spreading over the stone like blood vessels on alabaster skin. It looks ghostly and strangely ancient.
That was not foreshadowing, by the way. I don't actually intend to go play Dragon Age Origins again. Even if it's trendy right now with the new one failing. And it was probably trendy when the second game failed, and the third game wasn't actually that bad. Sales-wise, I didn't really love it. I never actually finished it, so I mean, that tells you how it is. I finish all the RPGs I play generally. Even if I have to come back months later, I always push through. Not that one. It's too grindy.
A diagram for summoning some time-forgotten being. The symbols seem very esoteric. Radio frequencies, it seems. UKV 123.6, UKV 123.7, UKV 123.9. Some written notes, too. Sparse and cryptic. Unclear. It looks like a cardiovascular system split into veins and capillaries. Very advanced. Perhaps. The web is comprised of radio stations, all lead back to one red heart, titled the Game Master Frequency. A note says, this one can listen in on any station it wants. Whoever decides to call in to a call-in station, it looks like. All of this is gone, left unrealized.
My God. It's as if the less money they had, the more ambitious their project became. The schedule. I know doom when I see it. The company was running out of funding.
Nothing. It's just lines on marble. An echo from times long gone. No one has used the fireplace in ages.
Yeah, I've certainly been owned, coming in here all critical, pessimistic, and then enjoying it thoroughly. Dope. Yeah, it's not really a dough, is it? It's the opposite of a dough. It's an... Oh. So there was a lot of skill reactivity in there. I wonder if other skills would do the same. I mean, we played whatever we did on our first game that was very high in the top level. I'm sure there was conceptualization. Maybe not visual calculus. Drama, rhetoric, encyclopedia, logic, all those would have been quite relevant for that conversation.
You see a terrifying ice bear with a strange compartment in its belly. The door is covered in frost, and the bear's eyes are glowing red. The lieutenant doesn't answer. His eyes are glued to the animal. A sharp slice of light shines out from its mysterious belly door.
Belly door.
A gust of freezing cold air rushes to greet you. You hear a low grumble as the bear regulates itself. This is the inside of a refrigerator.
Man, I'm actually thankful for that thing upstairs. I wanted to get back talking about that spring and the thaw symbolism, and the game gave me the perfect segue into it. Yeah, that's all. I just wanted to spend a second to be grateful. I feel like not many Let's Players, maybe they're smoother about doing it, I don't know. I just suddenly feel out of my element. But that's cool. That's what I want anyway. Different types of challenges.
The lieutenant takes a peek inside. His hand has found the holster of his gun.
Of course, just a giant ice bear-shaped fridge. Let's take a look inside.
The shelves are empty. All you see are crumpled ice cream wrappers with the brand name, Revachol Ice City. A handwritten note has been attached to the door. The fridge is huge. You pocket the note and the little fridge magnets keeping it on the door.
Good question. It looks like an ice cream fridge. I know. What an unfortunate marketing choice. What is even worse, the bear is still costing them money to this day.
The fridge buzzes with energy. The electricity bill on this thing must be catastrophic.
No. Well, the only right thing to do would be to go and plug this.
A friendly cartoon bear smiles back at you from a glossy cellophane wrapper. It looks nothing like the fridge.
Let's be empathetic about that electricity bill. That power cord going though. Here.
Two cables are plugged into the breaker box. The red one leads to the ice bear fridge, and the black one to the ice cream maker nearby. An electric sizzle. The room is slightly quieter now. Something close to you dies with a soft electric purr.
Why did you do that?
I'm saving people money on their electric bills.
The lieutenant raises his brows, but doesn't say anything. The electric distribution board now has one cable missing.
What do you mean? It has two missing. I don't get it. I unplugged two cables and I wasn't recognized for it. Yeah, we're not wearing that. Not this time. Let's unlock this door before we get a chance to forget. Forgetting is not allowed. Not today. Can I go down here? Ooh, money. There's no one on the street. I was just there. Now this gets to be the episode of thankfulness. Having heartfelt monologue discussions. Monologue discussion. There's a good oxymoron. But it's true.
The bear's eyes are dead and empty. Ice inside the fridge slowly melting. The power has been cut off.
Yeah, let's get over to here now.
A thick layer of coal dust covers the furnace, coloring it pitch black. Looks like this furnace has a face, and it's a face of agony.
Looks like it. Looks like an old central furnace used to heat the building. It's connected to the chimney. No one has used it in ages. No signs of any recent fire. Only dead rats.
It's dark and grimy here. In the darkness you can hear chatter. It's coming from above. A voice or several voices talking to each other. Near the smoke chamber, upstairs.
What are you doing? Wait, really? Take your head out of the chimney, please. It's not safe.
It feels safe to know that the lieutenant's got your back, now and always. This sounded real, not imagined.
You're right. The rooms do look like they're connected. But malignant entities don't exist. At least not the supernatural kind.
I'm not sure I trust doing this check without a little, drinky poo. See, we've wet our whistle now.
Something breaks loose in you. A mighty bellow echoes throughout the chimney's depths. The chatter of tiny voices above suddenly cease. Then,
Hello?
you've awakened the entity. And it's a woman, of course. The malicious entities are always women.
Hello? Did you say anything? I can't hear you. Please come upstairs. There's a safety curtain on the second floor. I'll open it.
After you, officer.
I have no reason to do that. And for once, that's going to deter me. Yeah, deterred, detective. Nope, not making that joke. You'll never know what joke I didn't make. Oh goody, that's broken again, so now we get the sound effect rodeo. New interactable. Oh yeah.
The note is written with a blue pencil on a piece of lined office paper. The kitchen magnets have left spots on its surface.
Does it say anything interesting?
Oh yeah, we turned the light off.
This is tangential at best, but the lieutenant's detective instinct is still active.
You're tangential at best.
Someone has scribbled, S, I can't believe the off-site copy is still here. The illiterate ginger kid keeps stealing stuff from the studio, so I had to hide it somewhere safe. You'll find the filament memory with the off-site copy in the frozen ice cream maker. Please take it home, ASAP. It's important. I'd do it myself if I lived in a civilized place with a freezer. Take care. Sully Swaff.
I don't know. I assume it's somewhere close to the ice bear fridge.
Didn't you see one right next to the breaker box?
Someone who owns a radio computer? My guess is as good as yours, officer. It belongs inside a radio computer, storing its memory. It's like a tape. You listen to disco tapes, right? It's like one of your disco tapes, only for a computer.
Cool. We should have read that while we were down there. Now we have to backtrack. Yeah, well, it happened. Polyhedral. It's my favorite hedral. If you don't make a good joke, you become the joke. Dope.
Hello, I'm Nia. Did you try knocking on my window? I must have missed you. I've been listening to my Milius. So what kind of dye are you looking for?
Die.
Could this be the malicious entity? Perhaps it's wise to go along with this masquerade for now.
Yes, Amelia is like a call-in station. You need a two-way radio to access one. That's why I have these. Mostly, they just teach you to swear in different languages. But some of the stations can be quite interesting. I was so absorbed, I must have missed you knocking. Then how did you get inside? By the south entrance? You know what? It doesn't even matter. What matters is that you're finally here. Let's talk dice. Did you have something specific in mind? I'm a novelty dice maker. Tell me the name of your role-playing system and I'll make the die you need. That's why you're here, yes?
As she speaks, her bone-like fingers fiddle with a ring. Her bones light, but her hands strong.
How strange. Well, if you're interested, my rate is 10 real per set. Unless you want something really unusual. Take a look around and see if there's any particular stone you want to use.
This person means you or no one else. Absolutely no harm. She will answer freely and honestly.
How did I become one? It was a business decision. I was a regular jeweler at first, but that's an unfocused field with too much competition. Some of my friends were role players. They asked me to make some polyhedral dyes out of cobalt. That was my first order. I grew it from there. Not especially. I like working with rare materials and a steady pay. And role players as customers? They're nice people.
She's thankful for the security they provide her.
We're inside the chimney of an old central furnace. It's strange, I know. But when I arrived here, all the other rooms were taken, so I had to build myself a makeshift home. Besides, I don't really have to pay any rent here, so that's a plus.
Plaisance was right. There's an entity living in the chimney. You should ask her about the curse. Does it mean she's unlawfully occupying a part of the house? Shameful.
Creative.
I've heard the stories, but I don't think those stories are true. Plaisance, the bookshop lady? I've heard that her business is doing rather well. Have the energy spared her somehow? Oh, right. But it's not just the bookstore that's still up and running. What about the whirling in rags? Some people say it's part of the building complex. And then there is me. I've been here for 14 years, selling novelty dice to role-playing enthusiasts. Not exactly a million-real business idea, yet somehow I've survived despite the talk of malicious energies. Strange, isn't it?
It's because she's in cahoots with the demons.
Is that what you think, officer? That the curse is real?
The jig is up. The she-demon knows you've uncovered her true identity. Time has come to face the source. Fear not, for the forces of the universe are supporting you in this psychic quest.
How deeply do we want to commit to this bit? It's not very empathetic to accuse someone of being source of a curse.
Is it now? I've always thought it's a rather mundane and boring place with no supernatural surprises in sight. Well, if you ever find a way to explain all those inconsistencies in the curse, let me know.
Plaisance is not going to like what you have to tell her.
More or less. Are you interested in anyone specific?
Rats scuttle in the dark rooms, under the abandoned blow dryers and dusty mannequins. Cobwebs cover rotors and radio computers alike. So much failure.
Oh boy, the fabled Revachol ICT. You're in for a treat here. The place was owned by two guys who had some rather innovative ideas about marketing. The bear was one of them. Now ask me about their other ideas. There was really just one, and it involved picking out the prettiest girls in the neighborhood and paying them 20 cents per hour to man the booth. And by man the booth, I mean slump behind the counter with a face that could maim you if you ever dared to disturb their bored magazine browsing.
Sounds like she really didn't like those girls. Fritta does the same thing.
Oh, but they did. They did show up to work, and not alone. There were also acne-ridden girlfriends and gorilla-like boyfriends loitering near the ice cream stand. And they already had the bear. The bear. Of course not. The bear was terrifying. No one wants ice cream guarded by a hostile apex predator. To make matters worse, the fridge didn't work too well either, and half the ice cream came out malformed and partially melted. Eventually, Revachol ICT lost the price war to its rival, Glace 5000. Glace 5000 sold caramel sundaes for only 5 cents a piece, out of regular fridges.
Caramel.
You did what?
Yeah.
Ugh, of course they left it plugged in. Even in death, the bear is costing them money.
Empathy recognized.
The taxidermist who made it said it was his vision beast. He said he met his vision beast while high on desiccants. He called it Megatherion.
Scary, but cool.
It's an imaginary beast that guides you through life. By telling you to do more drugs, mostly.
Electrochemistry?
A wise and noble beast, guiding you toward the land where the streets are paved with drugs.
There he is, right on cue.
Do you? Well, good luck keeping it under control. Anyway, now you know the story of the fallen ice cream empire.
Outside it's light. Light scatters from the low-hanging cloud cover. There's always the threat of snow.
Oh yeah.
Anything else? Another failed business, perhaps? I've been here for a long time.
Well, she already brought up the taxidermist.
You mean Mr. Fabron, the taxidermist? No, he mostly just did drugs.
But what drugs exactly?
He got high on some weird taxidermy chemicals. I wouldn't recommend it to anyone. Eventually, they caused him to lose control of his bladder. The smell was awful.
I think I knew of someone in high school who took formaldehyde recreationally. It was... Was it a rumor? I don't know. Let's not look up if that's a real thing. I don't really want to know.
Even you can probably do better than that. You can almost see it. A small, sickly old man, hunched behind his work desk, his pants stained with old piss, stuffing a sad, stiff-legged raccoon dog. The entire scene looks tragic.
It looks like we're thinking of that anyway.
Yes, I think it was called Androgynous Orlando or something similar. They weren't a big hit around here. Turns out that working class men don't like genderless haircuts. They're scared of that word.
You wouldn't like it either. The others would laugh at you.
I guess it just wasn't the time yet. It wasn't merely a gym, it was Artemitep's boxing club, a community project created to steer at-risk youth away from drugs and crime. A kind man from Zemsk. I heard he had some trouble with the law when he was younger, and that's why he wanted to start the gym, as his way of giving back. Kuno. Who's Kuno? Oh yes, you mean the kid with the sailor's mouth. Yes, I've heard him yelling profanities in the backyard. I think it would take more than a gym to help that kid. It didn't. If anything, it made the youth situation in Martinez even worse. At some point, someone started a rumor that the punching bag downstairs was full of amphetamines.
You should have known it.
Eventually, the coalition took away the funding and the club went bankrupt. This was a few years ago. It's gotten much more peaceful around the plaza ever since. There used to be a fashion atelier here, but I have forgotten the head designer's name. They were doing well for a couple of years, until the insect rights activists came. The atelier produced a certain collection that used chitin among the materials. Apparently chitin is made in the Occident, where it's extracted from beetle wings. And you know how all kinds of political movements are big in the Occident. The activists shut down the biggest chitin supplier, which of course caused the price to skyrocket. And, naturally, all the most fashionable tastemakers refused to be seen in chitin from then on. The atelier went bankrupt before they could finish the collection. Really? Anyway.
Curled up in a bow tie.
Poor guy. Suddenly, you get a feeling that insects are important to the case somehow. It's hard to say why.
Good. I hope it clarified things a bit. What else?
We need to try this check before we run out of drink. We're in hardcore mode. We're gonna use all the resources we got. That'll bring it up to a
Oh, it's
20
you
something.
again. Are you looking for a die?
That's 1 out of 3. Come on now. Pass that check.
You feel nothing. If anything, it's uncomfortably warm in here.
Excuse me, what are you doing?
Officer!
I got some in my eye. Yeah, sorry.
Oh no, not the zipper. And why would you do that? And what technique is that?
Miss, I apologize for my colleague's behavior. He's still recovering from an unusual medical episode.
Officer, this isn't how mature adults deal with their feelings.
Now you feel something. The cold damp of shame washing over you.
The air pressure told you to take your pants off in my studio? Can you please employ this special technique somewhere else? I work here and my work requires concentration. Half-naked people don't help with that.
No one serious business.
Nothing really. I didn't know him.
The lieutenant looks at his notebook, then the woman under the large window.
Your window looks directly onto the courtyard. You're saying you didn't see or hear anything unusual last Sunday evening?
I'm sorry, detective, but as you know, I usually have my headphones on when I'm working. It shuts out most of the daily ruckus behind my window. Well, there's always something going on in the Whirling's backyard. During daytime, there are usually those kids. And lately, I've been seeing a lot of drunk workers hanging about. Must be because of the strike.
She's not sorry to disappoint you. Informing on someone in a murder investigation would intrude upon her focused existence.
But I never saw anyone during that fateful Sunday night, I'm afraid. It's an odd profession, making dice for people, but I like it. And I prefer doing this to sitting at home. I might have, but in this case, all I would have seen is my own reflection staring back from the darkness. It's really hard to make anything out in the yard when it's dark outside. Besides, I rarely get up to look out the window when I'm in the zone.
She nods.
Anything else, officer?
Let's ask about the die.
Of course. Tell me what you have in mind.
Yeah, so there is actually a thing with these dice. They're relevant in ways I don't remember. I don't think we got in here at my last recorded playthrough.
What do you mean by cursed? Alright, how about I surprise you? Come back in 8 hours with 7 real, and I'll give you your cursed die.
Yeah. I think you order multiple die in this game. Probably.
Maybe you have some other ideas for dice? A star that fell from the firmament? Those cost more than 7 real. Are you sure?
No.
Alright, maybe some other die then? Ah, yes, Fortress Accident. It's too bad they never finished their game. The Wiro Untethered die is a variation of a standard role-playing die, only instead of plants it uses motifs of ice and death. And loss, of course.
No, we're gonna have to get that one.
I'm thinking something made from alligator jawbone, cast in black resin. The reptile bone is as white as ice and dead as, well, death. For 7 real, I could have it ready in 8 hours. It's an icositetrahedron, a 24-sided die that can produce results for 2-sided, 3-sided, 4-sided, 6-sided, and 12-sided die with a single roll. Technically, you can also use it for many other sizes, but you may need to reroll results. Untreated bone is porous and prone to chipping. Cast it in something hard like resin though, and voila, it's perfect.
I have a bad feeling we somehow got in here in order to die last series and then never picked it up.
Great, see you in 8 hours then. Was there anything else? I'm listening. They were made by a company called Slipstream. After they pivoted from making rotor blades to skis, their chief executive took off on a vacation with all their money. Honestly, I think it's quite funny. I think he's still sending out holiday transmissions from Tulula or Tiumotiri or Hashtkor or wherever he is. The usual, I imagine. That he's been thinking up all kinds of new business plans and can't wait to get started on them just as soon as he returns.
Men like that are a curse.
Sure, but Slipstream is history now. All their remaining assets got seized by the bailiffs in 47. I have no idea why those skis and blades are still lying around in the house. Not much use now, I guess. Oh, this one's a mess. There used to be a company that promised to repair windows 24 hours a day. What could go wrong with this one, right? Turns out, the business was actually set up as a front for an illicit group that was producing snuff milias. Who would have guessed? And they never cleaned up the debris either. Now it's just littering the hallway and I have no idea how to get rid of it on my own. Yeah, don't. Good. I hope it clarified things a bit. What?
So, I don't know. That was eventful. There you go. There's your government mandated commentary. What are we gonna do now? I guess we can return to Plaisance. Busy check. We can. No, the basement. The filament in the basement. In the ice cream maker. That's what we need to do.
This orange machine is dead still. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner and an electric freezer.
Oh no.
The ice around it slowly melting. You slip your fingers under the frozen lid, but the ice is too cold for you to get a good grip. A pry bar would come in handy here. If you want to try again, then you need to have the pry bar in your hand, detective.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Wish us luck on this.
This orange machine is dead still. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner and an electric freezer. The ice around it slowly melting.
The alcohol isn't helping.
The ice squeaks beneath the pry bar. You think you've got the bar jammed in there pretty well, but the lid simply won't budge. You see the pry bar's metal handle bending right before your very eyes.
Q Kim?
Yeah, well, that's a good pry bar. I'm not criticizing it, but this ice cream maker is frozen shut. It takes an advanced tool to get it open. I have no idea, officer. This ice cream maker isn't important enough to requisition a special tool.
Sooner or later, you will stumble upon a tool mighty enough. Then we will know what's in this mysterious ice cream maker.
mighty tool has failed us. We gotta check that punching bag for those amphetamines now, though. Yeah, before Kim can get all nagging about it, let's get that flashlight back out. Yeah? No, can't actually check that. Oh, well. Not like we needed more of them anyway. Really, you broken now, too? Making me make that noise and harass the poor audience? Come on now. At least we got a lot of stuff that's worth money.
What have you found? And also, do buy the books. There may be teachings in them. A novelty dice maker? Well, spit it out. Why does she need the dice? For some kind of sorcery? Sometimes they use the ankle bones of sheep.
She actually is using bones for a die. Oh. That's not so good.
I don't understand. If it's not her, then where is the source of the doom? How did she explain the curse?
Before you say anything, ask yourself, is the woman really able to withstand the truth?
Yeah. The truth is a source of anxiety in a lot of people, isn't it? Well, that's a big old question. Is it ever harmful to tell someone the truth? And not like a personal truth, like a worldly truth. I don't know. That's something I've thought about before too. It's like, is it universally good to spread truths, or should you, like, not lie? Lying's always bad, I'd say, but should you just avoid burdening people with certain things if they're not going to be able to make use of it, and having it will have negative outcomes on mental health? I think you really have to gauge someone's capacity to improve their life with knowledge before you just spread it everywhere like it's butter.
A third order presence, yes.
A great dark relief washes over her.
I think the reasoning that truth can feel anxiety is because truth is complicated and has multiple interweaving factors that go into outcomes, where lies can be simple, monofactored things that there might be a capacity to control.
I've heard of these triactors. In certain occult literature, that's too dark to dwell on for too long, and definitely not in public. I understand everything, sir. Thank you for your descending into the maelstrom. I will keep fort up here, strengthen the wards, do my best. And if you happen upon the third entity in your travels, may the Lord be with you.
Well, this has been absolutely educational. If we happen on the third presence in our travels, we will certainly come back to tell you.
She's not gonna want to be told.
Yes, the venture continues in other waters, darker waters.
Should we get out of here before the vortex collapses?
Well, we successfully wasted time and gained another skill point.
Hello, sir. How is the investigation going? Found any curses yet? Oh, that's great! I hope exciting adventures lie ahead. And maybe you can help Mother become less afraid.
Goodbye. We go do this. How would we collect 3 fascist dialogue options? And not even notice it that we clicked one. Most peculiar indeed. We still have books that we could read, a game to play, another book. I might have to be calling this one. Pushing my luck, my heart issues. Is it time to call it here? Yeah. Goodbye and good riddance, everyone. I'm not doing so hot.